Hello everybody, Zachary and the Rabbit Squad here, and happy 4th of July everybody, and happy 245th birthday. I'm pretty sure that's how old America is right now. That's what I think. 1776 minus 2021. Can we please get on with this bit with... Can we please get on to the video? Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. Anyways, well, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And today, for today's feature, we are taking a look at Paddington 2. And this movie is... So, after the first movie became a huge box office hit, became a pretty decent box office hit, and got critically beloved by a whole crap ton of people, here comes the second film, which was released on November 10th, 2017, which wouldn't be released until 3 years after the original came out in the UK, with a United Kingdom release on November 10th, 2017, and the film would soon come to theaters in the United States, and the film would come to theaters sooner or later. And the film would not be out that longer. Would not be out in the U.S. till that much longer. Or in January where it got released on January 12th, 2018. But one thing that you might notice about this film compared to the original... My camera go focus on that. Yeah, this is a Warner Brothers movie. Because after little problems went on over at the Weinstein Company, the distribution company of the original film, the distribution company that distributed the original, it was now up to Warner Brothers. It was now up to Warner Brothers to distribute the second movie, along with Studio Canal. Now, this film, and when this movie released in the UK, and when the movie released in theaters in the UK, and the US, it was a critical success. Where even the box art, which is very dated by this point, even the box art has 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It says that the film is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. But recently that rating went down a bit, where it's now a 99%. Thank you. Thank you, whoever did that. Anyways, for the second film, and at the box office, it did pretty fantastic. Well, overseas. Overseas, it did break over. Overseas, it was able to make back its $55 million budget, but domestically, Paddington didn't make that much. Where it was only able to... Where on its opening weekend, it was only able to get, 7th place. It was only able to get, 7th or 6th place at the box office. And it was very overshadowed by another feature. It was very overshadowed by another film that would come out that same year, Peter Rabbit. That film, which came out just a couple weeks after Paddington on February 9th of 2018, would become a way more bigger success domestically. I mean, worldwide, Paddington 2 did what it did. But domestically, Paddington was lapped. Peter Rabbit lapped around on the poor silly old bear. Oh wait, I'm thinking of the wrong bear that came out in 2018. That was released in 2018. But it looked like Peter did a whole crap ton of laps around the poor bear. But anyways, even if the box office wasn't that good, it still doesn't mean that the movie wouldn't be good. So the question here today is, what do I think of Paddington 2? Now, Paddington 2 takes place a little bit after the first film, where we see the Brown family. Up to some new stuff, including where now Henry is working for. Where now Henry's calming down a bit and doing some yoga, which does come in handy near the climax of the film. Mary or Mrs. Brown is still doing her little stuff I think she was still doing her comics or her little illustrations that she did in the first film. Judy, the Brown family's daughter, is now out working for the local school newspaper, and Jonathan likes steam trains. And Paddington is trying to. And Paddington, realizing that it's Aunt Lucy's birthday, realizing that very soon it is Aunt Lucy's birthday, Paddington decides to go over to Mr. Gruber's to find out what to get her. To find out what he can get her. And he ends up finding this pop-up book, which Mr. Gruber says will cost him a lot of money. So Paddington then goes on to do some jobs around the place. Decides to do some jobs, to do some work, or again help out wherever he can. And so he could get the picture book of London into Aunt Lucy, because as Paddington explains, that Aunt Lucy really wanted to see London. And Paddington thinks that'd be the perfect gift for her. But then the Browns go to see a fellow colleague of go to see a fellow colleague of Mr. Brown named crap, I forgot. Gosh darn it. Decide to meet a... Alright. Oh, I remember. They decide to meet a former colleague... They decide to meet a colleague of Mr. Brown named Phoenix Buchanan, who Mrs. Bird kind of has... Who Mrs. Bird is not really that happy. He is not really too friendly to Phoenix. And she does mention that he used to play in dog food commercials. But then suddenly that night, alright, can these people stop with the fire? Okay, come on, I know it's the 4th of July, but can you quiet down with the fireworks already? Yeah, I think it's still friggin' day outside. Anyways. Well, this is what I got for filming my video on the 4th of July. Anyways, so then, mysteriously that night, somebody breaks into Mr. Gruber's store and takes the picture book. Paddington chases him down, but after the mysterious figure poofs up into the night, the police think that Paddington was the one who did it. And thanks to the fact that earlier on in the movie, Paddington accidentally messed up this guy's hair, who, during the court case, ends up being the judge. Paddington is sent to prison. Paddington is sent to jail. Where there, he meets all these prisoners. But the one that's pretty important to the story is the chef of the prison, and named Knuckles, played by Brendan Gleeson, who is played by Brendan Gleeson, who ironically his son would also play a Mr. McGregor in the 2018 Peter Rabbit movie that would come out the same year, and just a month apart from each other. Oh yeah, and he was also in Star Wars The Last Jedi like a month before, so yeah, the Gleason family had a pretty good amount of movie. So overall, all the Gleasons, both the father and son, and got three big feature-length films in the span of 3 months in late 2017 and early 2018. I found that pretty cool. Anyways, so then the prisoners after Paddington insults his cooking, and Knuckles gets angry, but right before he's about to smash the little bear, Paddington accidentally puts a marmalade sandwich in his mouth. And he ends up loving it. And and keeps him under his protection. And Nichols agrees to keep him under his protection if he can make him the marmalade sandwiches. So then Paddington turns the whole sad feeling of the prison right upside down, by making it a nice little place. Where even the guards are telling bedtime stories to the prisoners. But then Nichols ends up having a plan, and to break them out. So all of them go through this plan, and which this is after the Browns accidentally miss their meeting with Paddington, and Paddington decides to agree with the plan, and they all escape the prison, and Knuckles and his crew escape the prison. But while this is happening, Mary and Henry, the Browns figure out that at a major suspect for the incident, and come on, say the word. No, I'm not saying it. Come on, just say the word already. Listen, I am not saying sus. Gosh darn it! Anyways, so the major suspect here is Phoenix Buchanan. Ends up being Phoenix Buchanan, which the Browns are pretty right on that guess because spoiler alert for the movie, it's revealed that Phoenix is the bad guy. That Phoenix is the villain of the film, who is trying to use this picture book to find this treasure. To find this treasure that is hidden in some sort of musical contraption. So the movie ends, and after Paddington ends up leaving Knuckles and his gang because it's revealed that they weren't gonna bring him back, and that they were gonna have him stay with them. Paddington decides to leave Knuckles and his gang so he could, and the crew decide to, and they head off on their own. Then at the end of the movie, then the Browns decide to, the Browns finally get the news that Paddington is safe. They tell him all about Phoenix, who he's actually revealed to be the suspect that took the picture book, that took the London picture book. So Paddington and the Browns decide to chase down Phoenix on a train. Paddington ends up on the train that Phoenix is on, while the Browns have to catch up to Paddington using that steam engine. And with Jonathan liking steam engines, and there being a steam engine there, you could tell what happens there. So the Browns catch up to Paddington, and they're about and they're about to get him. Then Paddington has the picture book and is about to catch up to them. But then Phoenix just snatches it out of Paddington's hand, and they end up, and it all culminates in a major. And then Phoenix locks Paddington in one of the train cars and releases the train car that Paddington is in, and sending him into the river. Which leads to Mary, who was revealed earlier that he is actually taking part in swimming lessons, uses her ability to jump into the water, or to try to save Paddington, which after it looks like it didn't work, then comes Knuckles and the rest of the prisoners from early and his gang to help out Paddington. After Mrs. Bird and Henry use their own abilities, use their own traits that they had at the beginning, that we sort of revealed with Mrs. Bird, that Mrs. Bird uses a trick that she learned from Harry Houdini to release them from the cuffs that Phoenix put on them. They end up defeating Phoenix by throwing some sort of ball at him. And the movie ends with Paddington getting the picture book and reuniting with all the Browns, and then at the end of the movie, Aunt Lucy comes, and then at the end of the movie, it's Aunt Lucy's birthday, but Paddington does not get. Paddington does not get the picture book at the end of the movie. But at the end of the film, on Aunt Lucy's birthday, while Paddington feels a bit guilty that he did not get Aunt Lucy her but then on Aunt Lucy's birthday, after Paddington feels a bit guilty that he did not give her a birthday present, and after all the help she has given him, it's revealed that the Browns and all the people in Windsor Gardens, besides Mr. Curry, all gathered up to bring Aunt Lucy to London so Paddington can show her around the place. And then the movie's end credits are showing how everybody did after the movie. And there's even a semi-end credit scene, or whatever you call it, that plays literally during the credits of the movie, which is a literal scene that plays during the rolling credits of the movie. But this credit scene features Phoenix in prison performing his musical. And that was Paddington 2. And overall, I absolutely love this film. It's not as good as many of the other films. I mean, it's not a perfect film, I'd say. I mean, it's not the greatest film ever made. And I wouldn't consider this a perfect film, but to be fair, no film is perfect. But Paddington 2 ends up being one of the most charming films that I have seen. Has become a very charming movie. And the first film, and also another movie are, in my eyes, very charming films. Films that are some of the most charming features that I have ever seen. Sure, the story may feel a little... Sure, the story is your basic story about the main character being framed for a crime. About the main character being framed for a crime. And all the other characters trying to prove that he's innocent. But to be fair, the movie he does it. But to be fair, that's only a nitpick in my eyes. Because the movie executes this plot pretty well, with the whole first half of the movie showing how Paddington means to the people of Windsor Gardens. Also, the characters in this film are very good as well. And I really like how, unlike the first film, where Judy and Jonathan kind of felt like they were there, in this film, I feel like they ended up using them a lot more as some good characters that help out the plot of the film. Also, the acting is really good in this film. And the CGI on Paddington, absolute perfection. Anyways, for my overall rating for Paddington 2, I'd give this movie a 10 out of 10. Alright, that is all for the Paddington review. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And don't forget, you gotta catch 'em all. See you later, guys.